In a world where safety should be a right, too often it is a distant dream, especially for those who have endured the unthinkable. With a well-known and reputed husband at my side, I owned a successful luxury resort chain, a symbol of strength to the outside world. But behind closed doors, my life was ruled by fear. What started off as casual verbal abuse soon became more intense, leading to physical violence on a regular basis. The tipping point for me was when I was tied down to my bed for 2 days, brutally raped by the man who I thought was the love of my life. I was driven to the point of starvation and dehydration. Deprived of all dignity, I endured hell within my own home, a place that should have been my safe space. After much contemplation, fearing for my life, I finally decided to seek help. At the police station, I stood before the officers, desperate for some form of protection. But instead of justice, I was met with indifference. Since I had no visible signs of abuse on my body, and given my husband's stature in society, they convinced me that this would become a public scandal and would be sensationalized by the media. I was told to resolve this at home in a private manner, and so I was discouraged from filing an official complaint. It's a family matter, they said, but it wasn't. It was a matter of life and death. Ignored, abandoned, I was asked to return to the hands of the man who was slowly killing me. A month later, my husband's violence had escalated. He threatened my life at gunpoint, slashed my hand with a kitchen knife, and pushed me down a flight of stairs. This time, when I went to the police, I was certain they would take action due to the nature of my wounds, but I was sent from pillar to post without any redress or a decisive response. After waiting for over 7 hours, I gave up and went back home. I finally relented and opened up to my friend, and she advised me to seek the assistance of a lawyer. It was only at this point that I felt like my voice was truly heard. The lawyer listened to me, showed empathy, and ensured that a judicial medical officer examined me. When I went for the medical examination, instead of care and concern, I was met with cruelty. The doctor was condescending and he scoffed at my pain, asking how come something you used to enjoy is now something you accuse him of. Despite being re-victimized, my pain being dismissed, and my voice not being heard, I had no choice but to endure such comments. Time was of the essence as my wounds needed to be documented before they healed. Several months passed by before my case was taken up in court. I was given multiple reasons for the delays that ensued, from the fiscal officer being unable to locate my husband's address, to the translator being unavailable for months on end, and I began to suspect that there was some foul play at hand. In court, the justice system continued to fail me. The defense tore me down, calling my character into question by naming me a loose woman and hurling insults to break my spirit. Even my lawyer could not shield me from the brutal and sexist accusations that painted me as the one at fault. The threats not only followed me, but even followed my lawyer beyond the courtroom walls. Her willingness to assist me in my fight for justice made her a target too. The violence surrounded me and everyone around me, re-victimized at every turn by an entire system meant to protect me. I could no longer carry the weight of it. I refused to continue with the case and cut myself off from the world.
1 month later, her voice was forever silenced, raped and hacked to death by the very man she had tried to get away from, not once, but multiple times. How many more women will die, unheard and silenced by the very system that is meant to protect them?